Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. This text, Advaita Makaranda, not a very well known text. At the same time, it is not something which is of any less value in terms of content than any other Prakarana Granthas. Like Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Vivek Chudamani Ityadi, this text is also of great importance to seekers of the truth. Lakshmidhara Kavi is the author. He is said to be one who lived in the 17th century. Swami Tejomayanji in his introduction elaborately gives the details of the author. Just a remembrance, this is the text I heard first, the first text I heard from Guruji Swami Tejomayanji in the year 1988. My first association with Guruji, while I was serving as the secretary of Chinmaya Mission, Bangalore, I had organized his yajna talks in Bangalore, and the morning text he took was Advaita Makaranda. He himself signed this, I see in my book. That is close to around 34 years back, 33 years. Later on, I had also studied this during the Vedanta course, and I also taught this. And in this very text itself, a beginning of this, Guruji has composed Kritanyata, that is also found in this very textbook. It is there. I don't know whether in the new version it is there or not. There is one more verse which is a small one. Shruti prasiddham sakalashrayam param brahmaswarupam mamabhadi chinmayam yasyopadeshena samarpayeham grantam cha tasmai gurave mahatmane. Very beautiful. Chinmayam bhati brahmaswarupam Shruti prasiddham sakalashrayam param Yasya upadeshena aham grantam samarpaye tasmai gurave mahatmane namaha. So this very dedication that he has given, Guruji to Gurudev, considering Chinmaya as Shruti Prasiddham, well known through the Shrutis, Sakala Ashrayam, abode of all, shelter of for everyone, supreme, of the nature of Brahman, that which shines through Mama Brahma Swarupam Bhati Chinmayam, by whose advice Yasya Upadeshena Aham Grantham Idam Samarpaye, I offer this text to him, to that great soul, Mahatmane Gurave Tasmai. Now, the text is a very logically flowing text. And Guruji in his introduction says that there are three kinds of texts we find, broadly speaking. Those which can remove the doubt about whether there is Brahman at all or not. We have never heard this. When we do not have the very knowledge of Brahman itself to start with, we start our Shravanam, listening. So those granthas, those textbooks which would introduce us to the text, the subject matter of Brahman, called Pramana Grantha. Why? Because Pramana means the means to the highest knowledge. So here, through Shravanam, what takes place is the destruction of or removal of Pramana Asambhavana. So because this knowledge is not generally given to everybody, or the knowledge is not pursued by, so to say, very clearly, very precisely, if you want to say, this knowledge is not pursued by everybody. Other things are all there in our life, so this we do not take it up seriously. But so Shravana is to remove that absence of pramana, remove the doubts regarding the means of knowledge. And after listening, a person engages in mananam. In that mananam, what is to be understood, the Brahman, how is this possible for anyone to realize that Brahman? Having understood what Brahman is, how to realize it as one's own self, that doubt will come. It's called Prameya Asambhavana. Asambhavana means not possible. Prameya Asambhavana. Prameya means what is to be known is not possible for us to realize. So that is removed through Mananam. There are some granthas or textbooks which would deal with Prameya Asambhavana, to remove the doubts about possibility of reaching that Brahman. Then there are other texts which are mainly focused on Nididhyasana. That is meant for removing the obstacles that would be there between the meditator and the meditated. To remove the Viparita Bhavana, distracting thoughts, obstacles, impediments, setbacks, limitations, hindrances. Like Kaivalya Upanishad can be considered as that which will remove the Viparita Bhavana. So, Pramana Asambhavana through Shravanam. Pramana Asambhavana can be removed through Shravanam. Prameya Asambhavana can be removed through Mananam. Viparita Bhavana can be removed through Nididhyasana. This text is about Prameya Asambhavana Nivritti, meant for reflection. The intellect requires logic. Even as we hear, we may not have the full conviction that it is possible. So therefore, this text is to show the logic behind the whole Advaita process, Advaita teachings. Now, when it comes to pramana, again, Guruji writes in his commentary saying, in all our worldly experiences, what we take it for granted as the means of knowledge is pratyaksha. Whatever is perceived by the senses are considered as the most acceptable, admissible knowledge. If I touch fire and I get burned, that's a pratyaksha pramana. When I see a flower, red flower, it is red. The flower is red. That is a pratyaksha pramana. So many people think pratyaksha pramana, direct experience, is the most effective knowledge. Now, why? And at the same time, the reality, the absolute truth which we are talking about in the subject of Vedanta is not a directly perceivable reality at the present moment. So therefore, people have a doubt, how effective will be Shruti in conveying this knowledge to us, though it is not pratyaksha pramana, it is not direct experience. So here he gave that various reasons, and if somebody argues that pratyaksha or the direct experience comes first, so the answer to that is, it is not necessary that it is mentioned as the first pramana, means of knowledge, does not mean that is the most effective. It is not true. Because, for example, if somebody takes a rope to be a snake to start with, because of the poor lighting, etc., one looks at the thing that is fallen on the ground as snake. That's a direct perception. But it's a wrong perception. Even though you are seeing it directly with your own eyes, that there is a snake. But upon inquiry, you come to realize that what you have taken it for granted, what your eyes have reported, is not true. So also mirage. So also the sky is blue. Though I see sky is blue, that is my direct experience, pratyaksha pramana. But on inquiry, I know there is no blueness in the sky. So, just because it is a direct experience, it does not mean that is a valid experience. This is the first thing we should know. When Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satyam, even though Brahma Satyam is not a pratyaksha pramana, direct knowledge to us. On the other hand, Jagat Satyam Idi, that is direct knowledge to us as of now. To say Jagat Mithya, which is not our direct experience, there is a need for inquiry. Why it is said Jagat Mithya? Why it is said the world is a false appearance? Just like when a person sees a snake instead of rope, and he believes it to be so, and never inquires, he will live in the wrong assumption, right? Until someone says your knowledge that you have got is wrong. It is not snake, it is rope. Find out. In the same way, Jagat Mithya iti Jnanam, even though it is Pratyaksha Pramanat Janitam, born out of direct experience, but it is Bhaditam, to be falsified. Bhadaniyam. So to be falsified, because it is not true. Second argument he puts it here is, The knowledge called pratyaksha, like tattvamasi ityadi, it is not directly available to us. We have to reflect upon that. As he gives the example, we get the knowledge of the pot as soon as we see it. But the Shruti statements like tattvamasi, etc., we have to think about it to arrive at. So therefore, it is not effective. But that is also not true. Because the mind, when it is not pure or not available fully, then only tattvamasi ityadi vakyani, the statements like tattvamasi, etc., are difficult to comprehend. Why there is a need for explanation on those verses? Because our mind is filled with certain other impurities or distractions, therefore, or even lack of faith. When we do not have faith in somebody's words, it won't immediately we accept it. We have to develop the faith in the person or in the source. And once you have the faith, it is easy for us to comprehend it. So it is not to say that the Pratyaksha Pramana is direct and immediate and easy, and the Shabda Pramana or the scriptural statements are difficult. So third one, he says, the reason why some people would say Pratyaksha Pramana or direct experience, direct knowledge is effective, because even as you listen to the scriptures, that is also Pratyaksha only, because you are hearing. So even the scriptural declaration, Shabda Pramana, you are saying that is most effective. That is also in a way is a Pratyaksha Pramana, which is not true. Because statement heard, what is heard, as Guruji puts it here, the knowledge takes place not because of the mere fact of hearing. The meaning belongs to the what is heard, which determines the knowledge that takes place in the hearer. Therefore, Pratyaksha cannot claim superiority over Shruti. Even though it is heard, but it is not what you heard is what is going to reveal you the truth, but what you understand about what you heard. Is it not true? If the understanding maturity is not there, what is heard will become merely a statement. So do not say direct means is the best one. No, it is not true. So there are such arguments. However, this Advaita Makaranda is a beautiful text, not only because it conveys the highest truth for us to reflect on, but also the composition, the beauty of this composition. The author Lakshmidhara Kavi was a resident of Puri in Orissa, and he has written some other texts also. And this particular text is on Advaita Vedanta, and it is a Makaranda. Makaranda means the small dust that is there and which is containing the honey of the flower, and that can be taken only by the bee, which has the capability, which has the ability, the skill to pick up the honey. You and I cannot do it. You look at the flower and you may enjoy the flower or put it in the vase, but only that bee can pick up that honey. In the same way, Vedanta, many people hear, but the joy that is contained in that very teaching can be only by those who have the skill to pick up the right thing. Many texts we have here, we have seen Kaivalya Upanishad, we have seen Upadeshasaram, many other texts also. But the essence of each text is so joyful, and that can be only when we develop the skill to pick up the right understanding. It is said that Lakshmidhara Kavi's teacher's name was Anantananda. Anantananda. Like Chinmayananda, Tejomayananda, Swarupananda, it is Anantananda. That is the name of. How do we know? Because in the first verse itself, he salutes to his teacher. That's how we know. Here we will read the first verse. Kataksha kirana chanta naman mohabdaye namaha anantananda krishnaya jaganmangalamurtaye. Kataksha kirana chanta naman mohabdaye namaha anantananda krishnaya jaganmangalamurtaye. Ananta Ananda, endless bliss. It can be considered as an adjective to Krishna, or it can be the name understood as the name of his teacher. Because separately he says Krishnaya Namaha Jagan Mangala Murtaye. So here Namaha salutations. Ananta Ananda Krishnaya. Krishnaya Namaha. To that Krishna my salutations. Who is Ananta Ananda? Ananta meaning Antarahita. Endless. Endless bliss. Ananta Ananda. Now, what do we mean by endless bliss? Sukham Atyantikam. No beginning, no end. Whatever has a beginning must find an end also. Because what is beginning? When you say beginning, that means it was not there before. So it was not there before means it is likely to be not there later also. So when you say day began, that means what? Sometime back day was not. Night was there where the day was not. So that which has a beginning will definitely have an end also. But that which has no beginning or an end, that alone is considered as Ananta. Antam na vidyate anantah. So the Ananda, the bliss that is found in the Mahatmas, this is called unreasonably happy. Unreasonably. There is no reason for their happiness. When somebody is happy, you don't ask, why are you happy? You are thankful that that person is happy. There are many people who are miserable. At least this person is happy. Good. Why do we make that person unhappy by asking that question? Somebody is crying, you can ask reason. No? Somebody is laughing, you should not ask reasons. क्यों हंसते हो तुम? See, many times when somebody smiles, we think that there is something wrong with us, he's mocking at us. But here, Ananta Ananda, endless bliss, infinite bliss. That's the nature of Krishna. Or Anantananda is the name of the Guru. That's how we should understand. To that Guru, to that Krishna is my salutations. And what is the form of this the Lord? Jagan Mangala Murti. Jagat Mangala Karta. The Murti, the form itself, is the one which can bring great Mangala. Mangala Murti Moreya. When we say to Ganesha, Mangala Murti, auspicious form. What do you mean by auspicious form? A form that brings only thought of goodness, good thought of nobility, thought of greatness, thought of highest truths. When we look at something and it brings about passion to us, lust to us, then it is not called Mangala. When some form brings us, there is a skull with two bones like then is it Mangala? It creates only fear in our heart. Don't come anywhere near. Danger! A skull with the two bones. Or a knife with the blood oozing out of it. That doesn't create joy or happiness in our heart. In some houses, in India, I think everywhere else also, old time, not nowadays. In some of the houses I've seen, they put the head of the bull. Probably the grandfather or great grandfather is a hunter, and they have killed the bull or buffalo. I don't think anybody puts a donkey or something. Or a tiger, lion. They don't put dog's face or a cat. Wild animals. They are hunted down and then stuffed once, and then you go, you look at it, it creates what? Mangalam in your heart. Amangalam only. Fear it creates. But Bhagavan Krishna's form is that which brings so much of delight to the heart. Jagan Mangala Murtaye Namaha, whose form is auspicious to the universe, Jagat. And in what way he brings this auspiciousness to the world? That is beautifully said see here. Kataksha Kirana Achanta Naman Moha Abdaye. What a composition. Wow. Compound, it is so beautiful. Kataksha Kirana Chanta Naman Moha Abdaye Namaha. Abdi means ocean. Moha Abdi, ocean of delusion. We are not referring to some pond, lake, tank of delusion. Ocean of delusion. Ocean means what? It is so deep. So deep. Gahana is very deep, and whose bottom is not known. That is the nature of our moha. Delusion is where we do not know how we get caught into it, but we get caught into it. That moha, that delusion is caused by our wrong priorities. So like a young man falling in love with a young woman, young girl, at that time of that, at that stage of that boy's life or the girl's life, the priority is only that. See, many times, parents come to tell us, Oh, Swamiji, my son has fallen in love with this girl and he lost his interest in the studies. Uh, so while studying, while being a student, when you get into this kind of a relationship, then what happens? Your priorities changes and you lose your interest in all other things, and that is called moha. You understand? When the boy has studied and he has become a professional and he has started to earn, and then he is in love with someone to get married, uh, then you cannot call it as a moha, because at that point, that is what he is planning to do: start a family, get married, start a family. So then it is not. Or let us say a person who's married and he falls in love with somebody else, then it is moha. Why? Because the priority is your family, your children, your wife. And instead of spending time with them, you've fallen in love with something else, somebody else. Then it is moha. In other words, wrong choice of priorities. That is moha. Now, why we consider this worldly bondage as moha then? Jagan moha. Where we have we have not realized the higher purpose of human existence, and instead of that pursuing the highest purushartha, moksha purushartha, we have fallen into the grip of kama. We have fallen into the trap of vasanas. That is why it is called moha, and our priority is lost. Our parama purushartha we are not pursuing. Even though dharma, artha, kama and moksha are given, but each one of them have got a certain time to pursue that. Is it not? Arjuna also asked this question. My mind is getting moha. That is what the word used there. Dharma sammuda chetaha aham. Dharma dharma, about my dharma there is a moha. Meaning, what is my dharma now? To fight the war or to pursue the moksha marga? Because he knew that no doubt the war is for dharma, war is not for moksha. I am waging the war for the sake of moksha. That is not the case. He knows very clearly this war is about establishing dharma. All right. But my personal goal is moksha. Now, whether should I pursue my personal goal of moksha or my social goal or my goal of my role in this world as a king or a soldier or a prince, should I pursue this war or not? This is my question. Now, is it not the priority that he is now confused about? What is my priority? If I wage the war or pursue moksha? So, moha word to be understood as wrong choice of priority. Not just delusion. It's not just a delusion. The person is intelligent. It's not the tamasic lying down there. So, moha abdi, the ocean of delusion, that to whom naman, namatam, those people who have surrendered to you, of those people who have surrendered to you, their delusion, ocean of delusion, achand, is zipped away, dried away, swallowed. So, when there is a hot sun, how the sun's rays come and hit the surface of the water and evaporates the water to become the clouds for rain, just like a lake or a small pond which has limited water. When there is a hot sun, how the sun's rays come and suck the entire water there, you don't even see it. When you look at it, there is water, but when you keep looking at it, if you, for example, in a hot sun, outside, you take a bowl of water, a small bowl of water, and keep it outside during the whole day. You'll find slowly, the water come reduce, nothing, dry. You mean to say the bowl had swallowed it? Dangerous. The bowl has swallowed the water. So the bowl is not swallowing the water. So the water has got evaporated. By what? By the kirana, by the rays of the sun. Surya Kiranat. By the ray of the sun. Is it not? Because of the heat of the sun's rays, and the water has been totally evaporated, swallowed as though drunk. In the same way, yasya kataksha kiranat, by whose side glance, mere side glance of whose eyes, all the ocean of delusion, the vast ocean of delusion of those people who have surrendered to him are completely swallowed up. Kataksha kirana achanta. Achanta means what? Achamanam, the word achamanam. Achamanam is to sip. When you do puja, you say Om Narayanaయ Swaham, Om Madhavaya Swaham, Govindaya Swaha. So you are swallowing. So that very act of sipping the water is called achamanam. Achanta is past participle. Swallowed, sipped away. Kataksha means corner of the eyes. Kataksha, very kataksha alone is considered as kirana. A ray, a warm heat ray, kataksha kirana achanta, swallowed. Naman moha abdaye, the delusion, ocean of delusion of those who surrendered. He who by the ray of his glance swallows the ocean of delusion of those who surrendered to him. To that Bhagavan, my salutations. Kataksha kirana chanta naman mohabdaye namaha anantananda krishnaya jagan mangala murtaye. See, namanam, nam is to salute. Nata means saluted. Nataha means the one who has saluted. Salutation does not mean merely just physically prostrating to the Lord. Prapatti or Sharanagati is a very, very, very important act of losing ego, and especially in Vishishtadvaita Marga, this Prapatti or Sharanagati is considered as the most important step. Because it is not mere physical act of salutation, it is a surrender of one's own will. That I am so and so, I can do this, I am capable of doing this. These are all kinds of I there. You may be capable, you are skillful, you are successful, all that. But without the grace of the Lord, I read such a beautiful statement today. When God solves your problem, you have faith in His abilities. When God solves your problem, you have faith in His abilities. When He doesn't solve your problem, He has faith in your abilities. When He doesn't solve your problem, He has faith in your abilities. We always think that Bhagavan will take care of my problems. Sometimes He doesn't. Why? Because He has greater hope about you, that you can do it. So Sharanagati here means definitely we should recognize the presence or the grace of the Lord, whether we are capable, we are able to solve our problems, or when we allow Him to solve the problems also. Both. When we are able to solve our problems, we should not have the pride or the ego saying that, see, I could do it. And when we surrender to the Lord and, oh Lord, you take care of it, we should not have any doubt. Neither the doubt about whether He would take care or the pride about when we take care, both are to be given up. The doubt about the Lord's ability or the pride about one's own ability. That is called true surrender. So those who are surrendered like this, for them He makes sure Nashto moha smritirlabdha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna, after having listened to the Gita verses, is Nashto moha smritirlabdha. The smriti, the remembrance I have got again, that all my delusions gone. Therefore, O Bhagavan, I will do what you have directed me to do so. I'm not objecting it anymore. Thy will be done. What you say will be done, not mine, not mine. So that's therefore this beautiful opening verse is a Mangala Acharana. We'll come to the main subject matter here. The beauty of this text is slowly he brings in the logic. Now, it is said the most important statement of the Shruti is Jiva Brahma Aikyatvam, the oneness of individual self and the Supreme Self. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahma Eva Na Aparaha. That is Advaita. The Jiva is none other than the Brahman. This identity is what is called Advaita. No other, there is no other. There is nothing called an independent existence called Jiva. The delusion or the misunderstanding one has that I am other than Brahman, or there is some other entity other than Brahman exists as real as Brahman, is wrong. And if it is so, the nature of Brahman is my nature. It's not other way around. Huh? My nature is Brahman's nature. Then there's a problem there. When we say Jiva and Brahma are one and the same, so Jiva's qualities are in Brahman? No. The other way around. Brahman's qualities are in Jiva. It is called Anyon. It is not Anyonya Dhyasa, okay? It is not Anyonyadhyasa. Anyonyadhyasa means what? Like, a iron ball and a fire, when they come together, the qualities of the fire is assumed by the iron ball, but iron ball's quality is also assumed by the fire. The shape that was absent in the fire, now having a round shape of that of the iron ball, is now seen. So fire becomes round. But the round ball, iron ball was cold, but it has acquired the quality of fire, it become hot. So the heat of the fire and the shape of the ball together became round fireball. But when Jiva and Brahma Aikatvam, when we take, it is not Brahman takes Jiva's qualities. No. In fact, Jiva loses all his independent qualities on merging into Brahman. It is like river merging into the ocean. The ocean does not take the qualities of the river. So if I have to meditate on Brahman's qualities, which means my limitations which I am now experiencing as Jiva must be seen as false. That is not my real nature. It's an assumed misunderstanding. So here, the verse number 2, there are three qualities, or the three aspects of Brahman are to be considered by me as my own: Sat and Chit and Ananda. How is that? Now you see the verse number 2. Ahamasmi sada bhami kadachinnahamapriyah brahmaivahamata siddham sat-chit-ananda lakshanam. Ahamasmi sada bhami kadachinnahamapriyah brahmaivahamata siddham sat-chit-ananda lakshanam. Brahma eva aham. I am Brahman only. Ataha, thus therefore, siddham, it is proved, it is established. How do you say that you are Brahman? Okay. What is the nature of Brahman? Sat. Sat means what? Sada asti. Sat. That which is always there. That is what is called Sat. Right? How about me? Aham sada asmi. I am always there. Sada aham asmi. Oh, how do you say you are always there? The simple thing is, I have never seen my own absence. Have you ever experienced your own absence, please? Yeah. So if you are in a classroom, so who are all here present? Now tell me, who are all here absent? Yes. You may be absent-minded, but you are not absent. Aham sada asmi. I am always there. But when I have taken my body to be aham, then in the time of sleep, that is not seen. Or in the time if I've taken my mind as me, then often it disappears. Manaschet, if the aham manaschet, if I mind, then na aham sada asmi. Deham aham iti chet na sada aham asmi. Buddhi aham iti chet na sada aham asmi. Atma aham iti chet aham sada asmi. As a body, I am not always. As a mind, I am not always. As a buddhi, I am not always. But as self, sada asmi. I am always there. And second is sada bhami. Sada bhami means what? I am always aware. I am always aware. Bha is to shine. Bhati. Aham sada bhami. Meaning I am always shining. I am always aware. Oh. Now you see, when you are busy doing some work, you don't pay attention to where your hand is, where your leg is, where your feet is, where your ears are, where your nose is. No. So my body and body parts are seen to be known, or I am aware of, only when I pay attention to it. When you are physically very healthy, you don't even know that you have a body. You look at the small child, it's just constantly running here, there, here, there, here, there. Whether you put the dress on its body or not, it doesn't care. It doesn't want any dress to be wearing. And the parents or the mother, no, don't run. Put the cloth on. That fellow runs. Because he's not aware of the need for putting cloth on the body. First of all, he's not even aware that it is a body. The body awareness, after some time, that boy becomes a little grown up, then in front of the mirror most of the time. A girl also. Then the various kinds of design on the hair. Sometimes like this. And then now there's straightening also. Sometimes straight, no curl. Now I have no problem at all. No curling, no straightening, nothing. कुछ है ही नहीं. So sadabhami. So when I pay attention to that thing, then that becomes a point of my awareness. But aham sada, I am always there, always aware. My awareness about one thing to another, it keeps changing, shifting. When I pay attention, that becomes, I'm aware of that one. But awareness is not absent. Ahamasmi sadabhami. And the third thing is most beautiful. Kadachit aham na apriyaha bhavami. I am never, ever non-loving to myself. Never unlovable to me, myself. I am always lovable to me. Whether the world loves me or not, I am always in love with myself. All of us. So what does it mean? Asmi bhami priyo bhavami. Aham priyaha sada priyaha. So that means sat-chit-ananda. Isn't it? And what is that lakshana of brahman? Sat-chit-ananda. First verse itself he proves that you are brahman. Nothing else. Because your own experience is not something which I am new, I'm telling you. It's your own experience that you are always there, you are always aware, and you are always loving to yourself. No, that's what it is. That is Brahman. Mm. We'll see these furthermore. Okay. If you have any questions, we'll just take it up. Just let me finish the class first. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkhamad bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.